All right, this is a little video update on a little video screencast on how fat gets into and out of a cell. The best example to use is actually a fat cell, and the best example to use inside the blood would be a chylomicron. So when you eat dietary fat, remember it gets shipped. So dietary fat gets shipped from the small intestine to the body via chylomicron. This slide is not opening up very well in Google Docs. When you make fat in the liver, you ship that out in an LDL, and you ship that back in an HDL. The simple story, but it works. So when a chylomicron cruises around the body, dropping off fat, it literally doesn't do a drive-by and just throw fat into a cell. Chylomicrons bump into cells. They do little what we call molecular handshakes, and there's an enzyme that sits on a cell. Here it is, right here, called lipoprotein lipase. Lipoprotein lipase is in the cell that's going to receive the fat. And what it does is it cleaves fatty acids off the triglycerides that are inside the chylomicron. Now, triglycerides can't go in the blood, but fatty acids sort of kind of can. And they get liberated from the chylomicron. They cross the gap between the chylomicron and the cell, kind of like in a concentration-dependent manner, and they can wiggle their way into the fat cell. And once fatty acids show up in the fat cell, all you have to do is make a new glycerol and attach the three legs to the couch. And so what you end up actually doing is the fatty acids you ate end up in your body. You are what you eat. So that gets fat into a cell. How do you get fat out of a cell? So between meals, when you haven't eaten and your blood insulin levels are very low, there's an enzyme in cells, here it is, called hormone-sensitive lipase. And what it does is, in a meticulous, methodic manner, cut the fatty acids off the triglycerides that are in your body fat and release those into the bloodstream. Triglycerides can't go in the blood. Fatty acids, though, sort of kind of can. The theory goes that fatty acids enter the blood, they attach themselves loosely to proteins and kind of surf their way around the body to be taken up by muscles for fuel. And muscles literally suck them up like spaghetti and cut them up into H2O and water and make energy. So lipoprotein lipase brings fat in, hormone-sensitive lipase lets fat out. How are they regulated? So LPL is less regulated, but it is particular that males have more of the take fat in enzyme, LPL, in their abdomen. That's why males gain weight around their belly. Women have more LPL enzyme in their breast tissue, their thigh tissue, and their waist. So often women will, if a woman goes on a diet and she can lose a significant amount of weight around her abdomen and literally have six-pack abs, she may still struggle with losing weight around her thigh area. And part of that is inside her body, those fat cells are more aggressively absorbing fat. And males are the same way. You can find males in their 50s who look otherwise, I see it all the time cycling, otherwise a slim cycling 50-year-old male, and he's got a beer belly. And that's because that fat is aggressively fighting all the other fat for calories. So that's getting fat in. When you release fat, it's hormone-sensitive lipase. It is a lipase sensitive to hormones. Which hormones? Number one, insulin. After a meal, when you raise blood sugar, the pancreas releases insulin. That also binds to this enzyme and turns it off. You're not releasing fat for fuel after a meal. You're storing, not burning. Okay, and this gets to why you shouldn't eat carbohydrates before you go to bed. Because for most people, your biggest fat burning moment is while you're sleeping, right? You should be snipping at that body fat for fuel while you sleep. And if you eat a high carbohydrate meal 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, if not even 4 to 6 hours before you go to bed, you might find that you're just burning the sugar you ate and none of your body fat. That's the first enzyme. The second enzyme is epinephrine. Epinephrine is an enzyme, is a hormone that's made during injury and exercise. It takes about 20 minutes to kick in when you exercise. And it actually turns up the activity of hormone-sensitive lipase to allow you to release more fat into the bloodstream. Remember, epinephrine lets you release and use more glucose. Epinephrine lets you release and use more body fat. During exercise, blood sugar is higher than normal, and your blood fat, your blood fatty acid composition is higher than normal, and it's safe. It's fine. Those are fuel. LPL brings fat in. HSL lets fat out.